Hello guys, I want to share with you a story. I got burned. I was taunted about a an accident which I was never involved in. What happened is during a test at entrance in Philadelphia, the guy failed me because he says I didn't look rear view window to see if my trailer end was clear, and which I mean, for me to look at it is like millisecond, which I did. And I didn't really argue with him because it wasn't worth it. He was constantly on the phone with probably some kind of agency, I would say. I'm not sure who was. I mean, why would you really want to give a driving test? Experienced driver, your license is clear and everything else. But he taught me that people say that, oh, they have very good experience, but then they wipe out a Kenworth in Texas in the parking lot. And I, at that point, I unaware. So this is what actually happened. I was back in 21. I was looking for a truck just to have one. Give me something to do, basically. And I went over to look at a Punjabi outfit in Williamstown. It was a blue Volvo. And after looking at it, I said, it looks decent, and I may pick up on it. And let me go talk to the guy at the facility to see if I can use his connections to get a load once in a while from him if I'm not so I don't get burnt. So I go over there. He says sure, there's plenty of opportunity, we go figure something out. I said, can I do a test run with you before I really buy it and get tied up with it? He said, yeah, come on over tomorrow. I'll have a guy ready to go with you as a, he said we only run team. There's only one guy who runs by himself, but he gets there in 3 days and he's back here in 5 days. And I said, I'm not interested to do that. I'll do standard driving, which is like 8 days and a half. That's what I'm interested. So anyway, told me to show up on November 23rd, 21. I told him I'm not interested to babysit anyone, or I don't want to drive with someone new driver who could be dangerous. And he says, no, I'll give you an expert driver, and he knows everything. So I said, all right. So I go there, and he sent me with a young guy. He's about 23, and he said we need to pick up. Took the bobtail to Monroe Township, picked up a trailer from there. We went to Jersey City, went to a really convoluted site. There was no parking. You couldn't even stop there for a few seconds. People beeping at you, and it's like totally crowded. What was his thing that the dude gave me? He was testing me. So this was like really a cluster F. So he did not show any of his driving skill. He just was questioning mine. And then he says, well, the dispatcher wants you to pick up a trailer from here and take it to Secaucus, New Jersey. So by then it was dark. And so I think we went back in the fence somehow in that facility. Either we dropped this trailer off and then picked up the same trailer back, or got another one, but we did. We pick up a trailer here and went to Secaucus, New Jersey. That's another clusterfuck. Anyway, so we went there, and then he says, well, we were supposed to go to California with it. He said, well, we are supposed to drop this trailer, drop this trailer here and pick up another one from this site, and then we'll take it back to South Jersey in Williamstown, and from there we'll pick up a load tomorrow in Newark, New Jersey. I said, I'm not going to do that. I don't care what the dispatcher said. That's totally dumb for me to keep on driving for no reason. He says, no, that's the only way we're going to do it. That's what he wants. The dispatcher wants to do that. I said, dispatcher is not fucking God. I mean, you're going to pay me for the day, which I never got paid for it. And this was a Punjabi outfit, and there's no respect there. But anyway, so we went back. No respect. They hired, as soon we went back, he told me that the dispatcher has quit. So now we have a regime change. Anytime there's some agency involved, first thing they want to do, they will bring their compromise, totally compromised. They cannot think out of the box. They listen to what the dispatcher says or what the boss says or what the broker says. They don't care. They will just say that this is what they are told me and this is what we're gonna do. So anyway, so we ended up going back South Jersey, and then I said I'm gonna stay in the truck. He says no, you have to go with us in somebody. Someone there was like single people living in a house, so gave me a bed. It was so I don't know. I didn't know anyone there. Not many spoke English. They all spoke Punjabi, and there seemed like most of them were driver or something else. I'm not sure, but we started the load. We started the truck. We picked up the trailer at the yard and picked up a load from Newark, New Jersey. It was Witter, California, and we got there by second day. So we picked up at 8 a.m. on 24th of November, and we delivered on 26th in the evening. Then we picked up a load from Paris, New Jersey, and we brought back to Secaucus. During the second day coming back we picked up a load from California. I was driving the night shift, evening shift, and he was driving the morning. We agreed that he's going to drive till 2 p.m. in the morning, and I'll drive till 2 at night. On the way back, once we picked up the load, he showed like he was the all-in-all guy. He knew everyone there, and he knew exactly where to pick up the bill of lading and this and that, and so he told me he was there a few times, but when he was turning a little corner short a little bit. A couple times he showed me a short turn, but I said, it's too short, so just swing out a little bigger when I was awake. So I gave him the truck at 1:21 a.m. local time, and he drove. So let's say he drove from 1:30 a.m. 6:30 a.m. He drove 5 hours to get to call this pilot is called Salem, Arizona, which is at exit 45. That's 45 miles and 35 miles. So that's 80 miles. He drove 80 miles in 5 hours. What happened between that time? Is it possible that we brought the truck here and was waiting for this guy to get there to stage this? I don't know. But it took him 5 hours to get here to this pilot in Salem, Arizona. What freaks me out that it took him 5 freaking hours to drive 74 miles. What was going on? And I was woken up at about 6:30 with a jolt and saying, he was cursing at him to don't move. And I said, what should we do? He says, call boss. So now all of a sudden things changed. He switched. He was not calling. He made me the guy who's running around. The other owner of the truck, the guy who owned the Kenworth, which got into accident, was also Punjabi. And I think the lady who was with him, she was Punjabi. And my boss, he was Punjabi, and this guy who was driving with me, he was Punjabi as well. So now he put me in front and said I should talk to the boss. So I called him, the boss, and the boss says, look, we have to negotiate with them. and ask him whatever they want. We will cover their damage because his name is not in the insurance, and we under no circumstances we can do the police report. So ask him whatever they want. We will pay them whatever the damage is. So I go back and forth a couple times and then say, no, we have to make a police report regardless. And but these guys were pretty stubborn about making a police report, and whether we paid them over the price, they still wanted to make a police report. So then what happened? We sat there. Well, he says, "Let me talk to the lady myself." The boss talked to the lady, so they negotiated, and then the boss says, let them call the police and make a report. When the police came, the police asked for my license as well. He says, I need the co-driver's license as well. So I gave him my driver. And then the lady was sitting next to him when he was making a police report. I didn't go there, and she was very close to him. And the guy asked loudly, he says, who was the driver? I said, he was the driver. I wasn't the driver. They still looks like they put that accident on me. This is the only, this guy at entrance could be taunting me. I have never been involved in an accident as such. The driver who was driving with me, he asked me that I should pick up the truck from here and drive. I said, why? He says, because I don't feel comfortable. I said, no, you drive it. And then I think I drove for some time, and to see if that will settle him down. And then he asked me to go to a truck stop, pull into a truck stop, where there were other Punjabis there, and they asked me, why did you switch the truck? It could be blamed on you because when you have to be careful. And I'm not sure whether they were informed or not that the other guy, he was Punjabi as well, and I think he came from New York. I'm not even sure that he was along with these, but he was definitely guided by someone else during the whole time. He knew exactly point by point what to say and where to stop and what to do. I think that, 5 hours to get here is number one, is crazy. And then if we did get there, let's say about 2 hours, and we waited for the other truck to get here in 3 hours and to stage it, if this was staged. And then the name in no insurance, and the name insurance, and I was never given the police report, and I was never told that the accident was placed on my license record. I've been trying to call Arizona record departments, and they are giving me runaround and not offering me anything so far. It's been almost a year. I've requested a driving record abstract. They gave me that. They said there's no record on you, and they didn't show any accident on it. So I don't know what happened here, unless it was someone else's license used, or what. But I was the only person there, so who else could they use? Because his name was not in insurance. If the insurance was reported, they would hang you upside down, and it's a major crime to let someone drive without putting them in insurance. So I don't know what happened exactly afterward, but I was taunted about this accident. Someone says he has a lot of experience, but then he wipes off the Kenworth truck in a parking lot somewhere in Texas. When I woke up, I said, where are we at? He said, we are somewhere in Texas. This is, he told me, my co-driver. I said, we are in Texas already? He said, yeah. So I said, this is, I mean, I didn't know what this place was. And all I had to do is grab the phone and take some pictures and call the boss. So anyway, I never got paid for anything, and this was all waste 4 or 5 hours waiting for the police to get there, and then he comes over and well, he got me to drive out of there. I guess the other party took the pictures because I gave him the truck at mile marker around 120. It was about 35 miles from Blythe, California. The record shows the miles were 861,058, and this is when I handed them. I parked over to the side of the road, and the time shows 1:21 a.m. and I went to sleep. And this is where the he has this accident. So anyway, when we went back, and well, I told the boss, they said we give you 5,000, and they said no, we want 5,000. I'm not gonna take 5,000. I think he said let me talk to him, and he called him over the phone, and they agreed on something. I don't know what number they agreed. I think it was about seven. So if the money was paid and they still made the police report, did they claim another fund from insurance? That is a question. And if the agency, secret agency, was involved, then why the fax was sent to a different location? They gave me a fax number which was on their fax at the at this truck stop, Salem, Arizona. They said no, this is not the number. They gave me another number which was not, didn't sound like it was a local number. So it took like five. He sent the fax, went, and 5 minutes later fax came here. So it was obviously going to somewhere else, getting managed, and then coming out here. So something was weird, and I'm not sure what was going on, the whole story. But this was, it didn't make any sense, and I did not get any of the police report. And I requested the record department. They have given me run around. It seemed like if there was a bigger agency behind it, they would not give you, who doesn't come out with a big party behind them, they are not going to help you. So this is it. You have to be careful when you are working with mom and pop shop, and they are all same.